WSJM.
Good morning.
Hello.
It's Thursday, October 26th. Welcome to it. Another great hour of this fine award-winning program is ready to go. We got a lot of things to get to this morning. Today, it is going to be a rainy day off and on throughout pretty much the entire day. High 72, so that's pretty warm. And then later tonight, more rain, more clouds, and a low down to 60. And even Friday for football.
Yeah.
Not so good football weather.
What do you mean?
Rain. Some more rain.
That's good weather.
It's all right.
I mean, football watching, it might be.
Football watching, not so fun.
Not
Football,
so fun.
I will say football playing in the rain.
Yeah.
A little rain's okay. A lot of rain, not okay. Ball gets really slippery.
Yeah.
The field gets nasty. And yeah.
That's when the amphibians do well.
Yeah. I was my team was the Eau Claire Beavers, and we always said we were really good in the rain because Beavers
were you damn good?
Beavers build dams, and we ran the ball a lot, so we didn't have to worry about passing and trying to catch a wet ball.
Oh.
You just had to hold on tight. So yeah, we did well when it rained.
Because we're live streaming now, streaming video on Facebook for the next hour, I do want to talk about screech owls.
Okay.
Because maybe they're out and about.
Around here?
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
All right.
I have a personal ear witness to this.
All right.
I'll tell the story, but only to exclusive content.
Oh, look at that.
Yeah, sorry.
All right, so there's a little teaser for you, everybody. So let's find out what's happening in the news this morning. WSJM News is brought to you by our friends at Cornerstone Alliance. See gomichigan.com, Cornerstone Alliance.
WSJM News now. Team coverage from the WSJM Newsroom on News Talk Sports 94.9 WSJM.
In the WSJM Newsroom, I'm Ken Lundberg. Enrollment is up to start out the fall at Lake Michigan College. Interim Vice President of Student Affairs James Daniels tells us the preliminary numbers are showing an increase of about 4%. And while the enrollment is still below pre-pandemic levels, he says things are recovering.
We're talking about the pandemic, and we're talking about starting to recover. If we were on to talk about the increased enrollment we currently have, we'd be talking about as we start to emerge from the pandemic, and people are starting to get a little more used to coming back to public spaces, such as churches or such as buildings and places. And education is the same. We're starting to see a few more kids on campus, or in person. Classes are up.
Daniels says some programs like nursing and some of the trades can't be done all online. Students are getting comfortable with returning to the classroom.
I still do have students on campus who are still wearing masks. Not a lot, but a few.
Some students were kept out of physical classes due to their parents being concerned. Daniels says plenty of adults who left the workforce during the pandemic now want to brush up on their skills and get back in. He notes it's easier than ever to get a community college education without going into debt because of programs like Michigan Reconnect and the LMC Promise. LMC this year has about 3,100 students. Governor Gretchen Whitmer has signed legislation into law designed to ensure drinking water given to children is safe. She was in Flint Wednesday to promote Filter First law.
That require every child care center and school in Michigan filter their drinking water. Protecting our kids is a top priority for me. Every parent deserves the confidence to know that when they give their child a glass of water, it's safe.
Whitmer said the state didn't always strive to ensure everyone's water was safe, something Flint proves, but now that's changing. The legislation also requires schools to develop a drinking water management plan and conduct routine sampling and testing. Next Tuesday, reminder, is Halloween, and the Berrien County Sheriff's Department has some reminders for everyone to stay safe. Under Sheriff Chuck Haidt tells us there are a few precautions that should be taken before the trick-or-treaters head out.
From a costume standpoint, if they are going to be out after dark, have some type of reflective tape in the costumes bags or a glow stick attached. And if they are, obviously for young to small children, adults should accompany them when they're trick-or-treating. For older children, make sure to plan a route that's acceptable and agree on a specific time that the children should return home.
Make sure the kids know to never enter a stranger's home or car. Haidt says drivers should be extra alert for the next several days.
There will be more foot traffic during these times throughout the couple of days leading up to Halloween and Halloween itself. So just watch for children either entering the roadways or crossing the street.
The Sheriff's Department will be out and about and visible for the festivities. Hite reminds any adults who are going to party to make a plan. Don't drive inebriated. Law enforcement will be watching for you. And Neighbors Organizing Against Racism, NOR, is the group, and they are planning its next Michigan Black Summit. Set for February 16 and 17 at the Mendel Center, the event will attract Black leaders from all across Michigan, so says Group Director Trenton Bowens.
We will be having workshops where we will be teaching and talking about African American infant mortality rate issues. We will be teaching about community organizing. You know, a lot of people can complain about stuff in the community, but they don't know how to go about implementing those changes. We're going to be talking about how to form a political action committee.
Bowens says they'll hold an evening gala as part of the summit in February with live music and the announcement of the John Lewis Awards. Those awards go to someone who, what they say, has conducted good trouble in the community, helping to improve lives. The theme for the Michigan Black Summit is piecing the puzzle back together, reflecting a commitment to address the challenges faced by Black communities in Michigan while fostering a collaborative spirit. You can find out more about attending the summit at the Facebook page of Neighbors Organizing Against Racism. In the WSJM Newsroom, I'm Ken Lundberg.
We'll have a great segment, Always Learning, with our friends from Barry and Risa here in the next 10 minutes. Also catch you up with sports. Right now, let's find out what's happening around the nation and the world with ABC News.
Authorities in Maine searching by air and on the ground for Robert Card. He is described as a person of interest in Wednesday night's mass shooting in Lewiston. At least 20 people are believed to be dead. Shootings occurred in a restaurant and at a bowling alley. Riley Dumont was at the bowling alley with her daughter.
I see a lot of the good in people in this world. Like, I give everybody a chance, and this is something that will change me and my daughter's life forever. And it's very sad.
ABC's Rihanna Nally has more on the person of interest who is committed to a mental health facility after saying he was hearing voices.
Authorities say before being treated at that mental health facility over the summer, Robert Card threatened to carry out a shooting at a National Guard facility in Saco, Maine.
As Maine State Police continues the search, they have expanded the advisory to shelter in place and close schools to the nearby town of Bowdoin. Brian Clark, ABC News.
Your sports update on the morning show is brought to you by True Blue Financial. Independent, uncomplicated, dedicated.
The NBA season tipped off on Tuesday. It tipped off on Wednesday.
All right. Good morning to those watching on our live stream on our Facebook page. Good morning to Bill.
Hey, Bill.
Good morning to you. Lots of things to get to this morning. We are going to have Always Learning with our friends from Barry and Risa, and may have you guys listen to that for a little bit because it's pretty interesting stuff about how Barry and Risa and really any sort of Risa or ISD is funded. Pretty fascinating stuff. Had some good conversations with those folks from Barry and Risa, so I think you would enjoy it as well. You can always check out the podcast of past conversations at WSJM.com. And we hung out with them, the Barry and Risa folks, on Friday for that Career Pathway Day. That was a lot of fun.
Yes. Yeah, that was a great event.
Yeah.
The Career Pathway.
And they've only done it a few times now. And I think it's now becoming an annual event that they really, really love doing because the kids love it. A lot of the businesses and organizations, different career fields are really excited about it as well because it gets the word out about stuff that's right here in our community. Plus, it's fun because a lot of the different businesses and organizations look at the booth next to them and say, hey, they've got a really cool activity that everybody's lining up for. Next year, we've got to do it one better.
Absolutely. And that's one of the things they pointed out was you can tell the first year folks.
Yeah.
From them and the difference between them and the people who've been there a few years or more than 1 year, because they're a lot more for those who are return visitors or return vendors. They have hands-on stuff, fun stuff. tactile, experiential stuff. And that's what I think anyone who puts an event together like that can take note and learn from.
Yeah.
It's like, give the kids exactly what it's going to be like in their day to day.
Yeah.
What are you going to do? And how are you going to bring that to life rather than maybe some paperwork?
Tactile experiential sounds like somebody from X-Men.
Yep.
That's what I'm going to be for Halloween. Tactile experiential.
Tactile experiential. Well, all you have to do is super glue, not super glue, maybe hot glue sandpaper to yourself, and then you're a tactile experience.
See, and then do I put a sign on there that just says "Touch me"?
Yeah.
Look,
how was your tactile experience?
just have different textures on yourself. Yeah, I like that idea.
Yeah.
Maybe different grades of sandpaper.
What are you?
And all kinds of
I'm
stuff.
a tactile experience.
Yeah, touch me. Go on.
Yeah.
Touch it. That'd be fun. That's another cheap costume, because you just go to the hardware store, pick up, different grades of sandpaper,
and
slap it on you.
And I would suggest you could do hard, soft. You could you raid your wife or your mother's yarn thing.
Yep.
And start wrapping yourself in some
different
textures.
Wool,
here's some cashmere.
You got a ripped up doily or something like that. And then you got a little napkin or doily. Boom, slap it on you.
Doilies. Do you have any doilies in your house?
I have doilies. Yeah.
You have doilies?
Yeah. Nothing that just stays right there. But I've got doilies that I can.
Oh.
But no, nothing in my house right now that, as far as, because like my mom has this in different places where she'll have like a vase or something like that, and underneath she'll have
a doily. That's what I'm talking about.
I don't have that. No.
Okay.
But I have like napkins and different things that I can, tablecloths and stuff that I guess would count as doily-ish.
Just got the newsletter from Bill Huizenga, Congressman. He has a regular newsletter, and so he's giving an update on the new speaker.
Oh.
You want to hear about this?
Yes.
Let's see. He says, after roughly 3 long weeks in heated discussion and debate, I'm glad to see House Republicans finally come together and unanimously support Mike Johnson. Huizenga says he was very encouraged to hear Speaker Johnson notably call for a bipartisan debt commission to address our national debt and spending immediately in the first official remarks. Following the vote for Speaker, he gave a live update, blah, 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 in a respectful way, of course. Yeah, that's about it. So nothing really deep on Speaker Johnson, because as we're digging in, I think there's going to be a lot of political hay made out of this person that a lot of people don't know.
Yeah, a lot of people don't know him, even within his own party.
Right.
Mitch McConnell, you said
hadn't met him.
They've never met.
They're going
to meet a lot.
They're going to meet
here in the next
at
few
least
days
once,
and for a while. Yeah. So the get to know you stage of the relationship has not really happened yet, and the guy's already got the job. So that'll be interesting. And I'm sure a lot of people are Googling and getting to know this guy, and there's tons and tons of stories about some background information about him. So
yeah, and I do hope that he surrounds himself with the kind of people that are able to thread the needle, because it's a precarious position to be a leader in the House of Representatives right now, because you don't have. They talk about the 5 families that are the Republicans in the House who have the majority right now, and if you've got to help bring those 5 families together of different political spectrum areas for any piece of legislation, the most important ones being keeping the government running, keeping the country safe. That's tough because they're very spread across the spectrum as to what they want to see happen.
And it's wise to surround yourself with the right people, because you are third in line for the presidency too. So maybe this guy has aspirations after having this gig. Maybe he didn't before, but after having gig,
you're 3 heartbeats away from the presidency. Yeah, you got to think, hey.
Yeah,
I could be president.
Oh man, I wasn't thinking about this before.
Clancy novel.
Yeah, exactly. I'm not sure I really thought about it before, but now he kind of moved all the way up, and now, he could be, if he does a good job, and he may end up being a candidate here in the future. Who knows?
There you go.
We'll see.
But I think a lot more news reports are going to come out on
Oh yeah,
kind of his background and his beliefs, and that may make it difficult for him to continue governing.
Yeah,
Yeah,
definitely for sure. Because I could see a lot of people saying, "Yep, don't really like that. Don't really connect with that guy." So we shall see.
We shall see. It's
But now
always
you know.
interesting. Yeah. I heard
the most
Ford-
common name that you could have,
Mike Johnson. I heard Ford was close to a deal.
Yeah, I
with
did
the
see
unions.
that. Yeah, it's close. They're even Governor Whitmer was happy to see that was happening. But it's not ink on paper just yet, but it's kind of a tentative, which that means good.
Yeah. I mean,
that means they're real close.
I mean, that let's see.
They're liking what they're hearing.
They're liking what they're hearing. So Ford has, let's see, 16,600 people on strike right now. They say they may pay workers at least 25% more between now and 2028. So it'll slide on up. But wow, at least 25% more. So that means the lowest increase, the lowest echelon of increase is going to be a quarter of what they're making now, on top of what they're currently making.
That's good.
And others will receive more. Well, it's good for the workers.
Yeah.
As far as the price of a car, that's going to be a lot.
Yeah, I mean that will probably reflect the price of the car, but I mean it makes sense, as a lot of their arguments was, well, the company's doing really well right now. Let's, reward us for all the hard work, plus all the kind of shift in things that they've been doing.
General Motors and Stellantis are still not close to that deal, at least according to the UAW. The 29,000 UAW members will stay on strike until their companies reach a similar package to the one reached with Ford. I'm curious to see what happened to how many days of the week they got to work, because they were looking for a 4-day work week.
Yeah. I wonder if that's still on the table.
I don't think so, but we'll find out.
Yeah, because that's not what we've been hearing. You haven't heard much about the 4-day. No. Maybe that might have been out.
Yeah, that might have been there. We want 25%. We want slushies on our lunch breaks and blueberry ice cream. Every third Friday shift.
Blueberry ice cream.
I don't know. And we want a 4-day work week. And they said, "Oh, that blueberry ice cream. Oh, wait a sec. The 4-day work week. We'll throw that one out." Okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
That was probably their hairy arm.
Yeah, that was probably the one thing that they just couldn't come together on, and they probably said, "Well, maybe we're asking for a little bit too much altogether. Let's try this, and then maybe they'll come back later on at another negotiation in the future and say the 4-day work week."
You know what they should have done is said, "We'll come back to work. You give us 25% more. We'll take the 4-day work week off the table, but you have to open a bakery to make Michigan bumpy cake."
Yep. That's what they need to do
at the Ford Auto plant.
Yeah. Here comes
4 days a week you'll make a car. The last day of the week you'll help make bumpy cake.
Here comes just don't get those days mixed up.
No.
Why is my seat so squishy? Oh, that's the buttercream, baby. That's the buttercream seats, now available in the Ford Lightning. All right.
Do you have any audio here? Can I pull up a computer?
Yeah, hang on. Go ahead. Oh.
Yeah. That's what I heard last night.
That is like your recording of what you heard. Okay.
No, this is a reproduction from somebody else, but that is exactly what we heard last night.
Yeah.
2 minutes after going to bed. Right outside the window.
That's nice.
Yeah, there was a nice eastern screech owl. What I assume was an eastern screech owl, because I did not go outside after going into bed. Right outside the window. Went on for about 5 minutes.
Very nice.
I think somebody was getting too close, so he was saying, "Get away." But they're about this big.
Yeah, they're cute.
Yeah, they are super cute.
I know the folks from Surrett Nature Center, I believe they rescued one a while back, and they brought him in. Adorable.
Oh, yeah. Eastern screech owl. That's a lot of fun. So I don't know if anyone else, Bill or others, have heard that.
Yeah.
Oh, what does Bill say? How will that work if Ford gets and agrees to a deal? If Ford gets a deal with the others, will the others feel pressure to agree or stay on strike? Certainly, they're going to feel pressure to agree.
Yeah.
And if they kind of understand where the bar is, that makes it tough for them to go below that.
Mm-hmm.
Because the union workers will say, look what Ford got.
Yep.
And if Ford wants workers, maybe they'll say, hey, workers are getting that deal. Maybe I'll go over there. And GM and Stellantis will be like, hey, wait, we need employees. So
yeah, that's what makes it interesting with, especially with the big three, is to say, oh, well, it's kind of all needs to come together and be a similar deal across the board. So
yeah, we'll see. We'll see. Good question though.
Yeah, great question. We're gonna take a moment and listen to my conversation with the folks from Barry and Risa. If you want to check out the full conversation, you can do that by checking out the podcast at WSJM.com and the WSJM app. Let's get a listen in.
Inflation-related items make up about 80% of our overall spending. So by far, compensation is the biggest expense.
And so how does the things like the economy, and you mentioned like property taxes and things like that, and even say the government, if there's a government shutdown impact, how does that impact the finances?
Yeah, well, for an ISD, it impacts it a little bit more than it would for a district, because if the economy is in a tailspin and property values are going down and assessments are being reduced, then our local revenue, as I explained earlier, is going to go down. Knock on wood, we haven't had that happen in quite a while. But, if you're a district and your property values go down, you get less money from your property taxes. But again, the state makes up the difference to get you up to that $9,000 per student. So at the end of the day, you're still going to get the money. It's just whether it comes from source A or source B. Mm-hmm. Not so in an ISD. If property values take a big downturn, we're going to feel the pinch from that.
Interesting stuff for sure from our friend Scott Knoll, who is the Director of Business and Finance with Barry and Risa. We also have Superintendent Eric Hopstock with our Always Learning segment. Eric, anything you'd like to add to this? This is, of course, a lot of numbers, but there's a lot of factors and things, and I think we educated the community on a lot of stuff.
One of the things, if you go back to 2008, 9, 10, when the Great Recession that we call it. But one of the things that happened then is they did something at the federal level called sequestration, which was an automatic clip of 15% of those federal dollars. So a lot of our funds got clipped 15%. And what people don't realize is once you roll back, and I'll just give you a good example on the state level, they rolled back per pupil funding $450, $60 per student. It took us till 2019 to recover. So while every year they celebrated, hey, we're giving you an extra 70, we're giving you an extra 30, it's in the meantime, salaries were going up, other costs were going up. So it really makes it tough once you take a hit to recover from some of those, because it's not like we could go out and make more widgets, because we have a controlled budget that comes from a different source.
Interesting stuff. If we want to learn more about all those things that Barry and Risa does, where's a good place for us to find that?
Go to our website, barryandrisa.org. If you have a specific question, info@barryandrisa.org, and it'll be slotted to the right individual to get your questions answered.
Wonderful. Well, Scott, thank you so much for telling us about all that stuff. We appreciate you taking some time. And Eric, as always, I guess I'll see you next week.
See you next week.
At Sturgis Bank, it's our people that make the difference. Meet Patrick Swam, commercial lender for Berrien County.
My career in financial services started as a teller at a local credit union, shifted over to the community bank model, and haven't looked back since. My whole life I've been from Berrien County. Love being involved in the community. It's a real passion of mine. I serve on the Buchanan City Commission Chamber of Commerce. I'm on the Buchanan Promise Board as well. The term trusted advisor, it's on a different level when you work for a small institution. It's not all writing checks. It's about knowing your neighbors. They're the first name they think of when they think of filling a need.
And we're back. All right.
You get your coffee?
I did. Yep. Got the it was the caribou coffee from the Keurig. Yeah.
Going caribou.
Going caribou. It actually has real bits of caribou in it.
Yum.
So you know it's good.
Yum.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Coffee.
Jocelyn's up with the dog early this morning.
Oh, what are they doing?
I don't know. He wakes her up. He decides to just. It's one of those where He's an old dog, but I don't know if he used to have a really good internal clock and know when it was time to wake up, when it was time to go to bed. And now just any random time, he just likes to just walk up to you and go, But he's so tiny, so it's the most adorable thing in the world. And he just walks up to you and either licks you or just goes, and then we usually wake up. So I don't know if he either needs to go to the bathroom or what.
Yeah. Yeah. Russell, mine's getting older. He's what did I say he was? 11?
11?
Something like that.
Yeah.
And he now fights me for my chair.
Aw.
Yeah. He loves sitting in my chair during the day. That's his spot because he can
Sure.
see out the window and he can see toward the door and stuff like that. But when I get home, usually he's out. No, now he's like, I'm staying here. It's pretty comfortable.
Yeah.
So I trick him.
How do you trick him to get out of your chair?
I do one of two things. I either go to the cupboard, which whenever I open it, he thinks it means TREAT.
Yeah.
I can't even say it anymore.
I know.
Because he'll hear me right now.
Yep.
Or I go to the front door and I check the mail. He's always out there for that. And then I go sit in my chair.
There you go.
Yeah. He'll get smart. He'll get wise to it at some point.
Oh, probably.
Yeah.
I was thinking what he does is as soon as you're about to sit down, he just sneaks right in. Right when you're about to sit down and he's ready to go.
Yeah, he's like the UAW. He will take new tactics to get into that chair before I do.
He hasn't negotiated for more.
He hasn't negotiated yet. He tries to knock over the guitar. He knocks whatever I've paperwork or whatever I've stacked up to go through. He knocks that over. He loves eating paper towels. I've told you that before.
Yep.
So yeah, he'll start doing that.
Yeah, didn't he even eat your birthday card?
He ate part of the birthday card. That's true. Yeah, he tried to go into the second one. He took a bite of it and then went away. So yeah, he's crazy.
Yeah,
fun dog. Dogs are great.
I always love when dogs want to eat the toilet paper.
Yeah.
It's like, come on, man, really? Toilet paper's expensive.
Yeah, right. And
don't mess around with that
short
stuff.
supply.
Yeah. So, all right. Well, we've got a lot to get to here this morning. Hope you're having a great start to your day. We'll have your Bloomberg Market Minute, and then we'll get to news here in just a second.
Yeah, on the air later, we should talk more about what Ford did concede to.
Okay.
In their tentative agreement.
Yeah. All right. We'll get to that in a moment.
Snapped up Barbie dolls and Hot Wheels cars in the latest quarter, but Mattel stuck with its full-year sales outlook because of softness in the industry overall and a weaker global economy. Since its July release, the Barbie movie has generated more than $1.4 billion in global ticket sales, the highest-grossing film of the year. Gina Cervetti, Bloomberg Radio.
The Morning Show with Jonny and Ken on News Talk Sports 94.9 WSJM.
Just about 7:30 today. We're going to have some rain and, more rain and some more rain with a high of 72. Then later on tonight, we're looking at some clouds and, hey, look at that. More rain. Low down to 60. Rain possible tomorrow as well. So it's been a weird week. We've had 76, almost 80 in some areas earlier this week with nice sunny skies. Then we've just got the clouds rolling in. Hopefully by, the good part of the weekend, we get better weather.
Yeah.
I have not looked at Saturday and Sunday just yet. But I'm hoping, crossing my fingers. I am looking now. Saturday, sunny and 55. Sunday, 70% chance for rain.
Okay, so Saturday we get a respite from the rain.
A little bit of,
Nice.
Exactly. So we got a little bit of time.
Okay.
So that's good. All right, let's find out what's happening in the news this morning.
WSJM News Now. Team coverage from the WSJM Newsroom on News Talk Sports 94.9 WSJM.
In the WSJM Newsroom, I'm Ken Lundberg. Here's a look at some of the stories we're covering for you today. More movement against the governor's call to fast-track industrial-scale solar farms in Michigan. In the governor's What's Next speech this last summer, Governor Whitmer called for a 3-person panel to have control over zoning of large-scale solar and wind farms. For the last 3 weeks, state lawmakers have been considering that legislation, and they've heard strong opposition from the Michigan Association of Counties, the Michigan Township Association, and the Michigan Municipal League. Berrien County commissioners also unanimously approved a resolution opposing the move. Today, a protest is planned in Lansing, sending that same message to state lawmakers. The group Our Home, Our Voice, a coalition of county and township officials and community organizers from across Michigan, plans to gather at the Capitol and let lawmakers hear their voices. From our area, State Representative Pauline Wenzel opposes the legislation that the governor wants. State Representative Joey Andrews supports giving the governor the power to override local decision. A case of West Nile virus has been identified in an animal in Berrien County. The state veterinarian's office says it was found in a camelid, which is of the alpaca, camel, and llama family. In late September, the animal became ill with head and neck tremors, which progressed to it being unable to rise. It later died. It did test positive for the West Nile virus. And an estimated $5.2 billion was lost all across the United States last year in scams reported to the Federal Trade Commission. Michigan losses for that same period of time totaled over $134 million. Another report from the AARP says although scams can happen to anyone, older adults are particularly vulnerable and they're least likely to report being victimized, part due into the trauma or the shame they might be experiencing. So Michigan says of the $38 million in fraud losses in 2019, $134 million last year. The 3 things to do if you see something that's too good to be true, stop, think about it, and verify it independently from whoever's contacting you to prevent falling for a scam. In the WSJM newsroom, I'm Ken Lundberg.
We'll catch you up with sports here in just a few minutes. Also, find out what's happening around the nation and the world with ABC News. Right now, let's find out what's going on in the state with the Michigan News Network.
The Michigan News Network.
I'm Beth Fisher. There's a tentative deal between the UAW and Ford. The deal includes 25% raises over the 4-year deal. Ford workers are expected back on the job as the ratifying process goes forward. Workers at Detroit's 3 casinos remain on the picket line. Talks between the two sides are set to resume today. A spokesperson for the Detroit Casino Council says a federal mediator has been called in to help broker a deal. It's a legal setback for former President Donald Trump in a lawsuit that would keep him off the ballot in Michigan. A court of claims judge has denied Trump's request to throw out that suit. The lawsuit was filed by political activist Robert Davis. He and others claim Trump should be barred from being allowed to appear on any ballot for president in Michigan because of his attempts to overturn the 2020 election and his role in the January 6th attack on the Capitol. I'm Beth Fisher for the Michigan News Network.
All contractors working with Michigan businesses can win more projects by including energy-efficient rebates in your proposals. These rebates are provided by Michigan utility companies for contractors and customers completing construction projects using.
All right. Any more exclusive content for our folks that are watching?
Always.
On our Facebook and our YouTube.
Always.
Yeah, the screech owl that now how long was that screech owl up? Keeping you up.
He didn't keep me up. I mean, it was a pleasant sound. I could have gone to sleep to it, but
nice.
No, it was about 5 minutes. I mean, a little less than 5 minutes.
It's a pleasant sound.
That wasn't the noise. That wasn't the noise. It almost sounds like a horse whinny.
Yeah.
Doesn't it?
Yeah, a little bit, yeah.
I don't know. But yeah, it's fun. Birds.
Have you been doing a lot of bird watching?
I always keep my eyes peeled for the different birds. It's fun to see them. It's especially joyful to see some of the different woodpeckers, especially when you see the pileated guys.
Oh yeah,
flying around, and the nuthatches. And there's a couple of them that are about the same size. They're real tiny, and they have the beaks that are made for digging the insects out of the tree bark and stuff like that. And it's funny because you can tell which kind of bird it is, and I forget their names right now, because some of them hop up and some of them hop down. They always hop down the tree. It's really weird. Yeah, just like squirrels can't go backwards.
Yeah, I think I've seen some of those. They're interesting.
Yeah, I think it's a nuthatch, and there's something else. I know Stephanie's gonna Rake me over the coals if I can't remember.
Because she's really into that too, right?
Well, yeah. Yeah, we have bird books and stuff like that.
Wow.
I don't know. Do you do any wildlife watching?
Not really. I mean, I watch the squirrels in my backyard. We do have a lot of different types of birds, but the blue jays are massive.
Yeah.
They're
fun.
like hawks, man. The ones in my backyard, and the squirrels are huge too.
Do they ever get go against each other, squirrels versus blue jays?
Not so much.
That'd be fun.
Not so much. No, but we get a lot of starlings.
Oh, yeah.
The starlings, they're mean.
They're a little
mean
grumpy.
birds.
Yeah, they're a little grumpy. They usually take over the bird feeders.
Yep, the bird feeders and the bats.
They make a huge mess.
Mhm.
They don't pick up after themselves.
Nope.
And you know what? They're European.
And they're not supposed to be here.
They're an invasive species.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know why they're here?
I do. It's because of thespians.
Yeah, because everybody thought, oh, well, William Shakespeare talks about the beautiful starlings. So let's go ahead and bring them over to the United States and to the Americas and see and show it off to the world. And then, yeah, it just became this invasive. Basically, they're the rats of the air. They're just everywhere.
They are pretty, though.
They are pretty, but they're mean. They're mean to all the other birds. And yeah, you're right. They make a mess.
But, what harm could there be? Whenever you go through international travel, you're not supposed to bring back meat products or fruit products or agricultural of any kind. You're not supposed to bring back animals. They don't let you bring animals in, all kind of other stuff. Why? Well, because it was 100 starlings. 100 that were introduced into the United States in 1890 by your Shakespeare enthusiasts. They now number 200 million. And those are just the ones in my backyard.
Yeah, pretty much.
Well, maybe not.
Yeah. That's crazy. Only 100 and then it's
they
that
brought
much.
100.
Wow.
Yeah. Don't get me started on cowbirds.
Cowbirds?
Yeah.
What the heck is a cowbird?
Well, they have this amazing little trick. They don't let's see here. Cowbird. I want to make sure I get it right here because what they do is they lay eggs in other nests.
Okay.
They don't lay the eggs in their own nests. They lay them in other birds' nests and let them take care of it and feed it, and then it grows.
And then when the mama or daddy bird of the other species is like, all right, so I've got this one, this one, this one. Wait a minute. That's not ours.
Yeah. It's called a brood parasite because it lays its eggs in the nests of other species.
Huh.
And they just keep doing this. You'd think one did it and then they don't care. They forget about it and go and make their own nests. No, it's intrinsic to their species. It's weird.
Wow. That's odd.
See, you got me started on the cowbirds.
It's like what are they? It's like what couch surfing and another but birds.
Yeah.
I don't want to build my own house or live somewhere else. I'm just gonna take over your place.
Yeah.
Teresa says hello.
Hey, Teresa.
Good morning, Teresa.
Good morning.
Yeah, I never was a bird watcher. I mean, I see the birds. I enjoy the wildlife. I've noticed a lot of deer hopping around. So that's something to be mindful of as you're making your morning or evening commutes anywhere is keep your eyes on your head on a swivel because those deer are jumping around and coming out of nowhere. There was one this morning that it was off the side of the road. It was kind of going off. It didn't look like it was going to cross the road, but I still had to honk a couple times just to make sure so that it didn't come near me.
Question. Do you think that works, the honking?
I don't know. It does sometimes.
Okay.
But sometimes it does also just it grabs their attention.
Yeah. Makes them stop for a moment.
Makes them stop for a moment.
That's the key, I think.
But there have been times where it's I've honked the horn and it's off the side of the road and then it starts coming towards the road. And like, no.
Like, what's that?
No.
What's that friendly noise?
Go away. Do you think the whistles work? The deer whistles?
I don't know.
Or do you think that's just something that somebody invented and it's
a noise.
snake oil?
I don't know. If if a noise of a whistle is between me and a meal, I'm really going to kind of ignore it.
Yeah.
So I don't know.
Yeah, if you really wanted to get across the street to the other side, but you hear a whistle, I don't think it's going to stop you all that much.
Why did the deer cross the road?
I don't know.
To get hit.
To get hit. Yeah. It didn't. It didn't make it.
It didn't make it. Why did the deer try to cross the road?
Right.
Anyway.
Have you hit a deer before?
No, thank goodness.
Really? Never in your life?
Well, with a gun, I have.
Well, yeah, but I mean, never driving in a car. Have you hit a deer?
Never with an automobile.
Wow.
Yeah.
My mom hit one when I was a little kid with me in the car.
Yikes.
And that like basically totaled our minivan.
Ugh.
And then I was like 19, 20 and hit one with my car. I feel like I hit one with another car early on, but yeah, they're everywhere. I mean, I lived out in the field where there's corn and everything, so it was just feeding frenzy growing up. So
yeah, we had ethanol corn out in our backyard, so it wasn't the edible kind that deer liked.
Did it smell good?
Yeah, I don't know. I didn't smell it.
You can't really tell, right? It's just corn.
You can tell if you bite into it.
It tastes bad.
It tastes real bad. Yeah, it's gross.
But so that's a special kind of corn that is just for fuel.
It's made. It's better to get your ethanol from.
Okay.
Yes. Yeah.
Huh. Interesting.
Yeah. So if you're ever stealing corn, which you should not do,
no,
and you get the ethanol stuff, it's kind of funny.
Yeah. Yeah, I think trying to remember what we had, because our fields they changed over the years. It went from, we had an apple orchard, and then we cleared the apple orchard because it was old, and then turned that into just corn and soybeans.
Oh.
And I can't remember what type of corn they would grow. Probably just basic feed corn.
Sweet corn or silage or something like that.
Yeah. So anyways.
Corn.
Thank the farmers. All the hard work that they're doing right now.
You appreciate eating.
Yeah.
We got another reminder from the Berrien County Sheriff's Office yesterday. Watch out for the slow-moving vehicles because of harvest. So do that.
Yeah, be careful. Because they're moving from one field to the next, and they can't hit it. The rabbit only goes so fast. From turtle and rabbit, the rabbit only goes so fast. All right, let's get back to the show here.
All right.
During the middle part of the day as we warm up to near 70. And then we'll see a chance for a few more showers late afternoon, early evening. Overnight tonight, we stay near 60, scattered showers. And then for Friday, most of the day is dry, mostly cloudy with a high around 70. We'll see rain return for Friday evening. I'm meteorologist Carrie Peugeot.
This is Berrien County Under Sheriff Chuck Height, and you're listening to the morning show on WSJM.
And you can be part of the show anytime. You can call 925-WSJM. You can email letstalk@WSJM.com. We're streaming live on our Facebook and our YouTube if you want to come hang out with us. We've had some exclusive content for you this morning, conversations that you can only get if you're watching and listening to the live stream.
It was decent. Today was decent.
I think
we could be better.
It's always award-winning.
Well, okay.
And what award did we get this time?
Screech Owl.
The Bird Watchers Association.
Oh, yeah, the Bird Watchers Association gave us
Is
one.
there a Southwest Michigan Bird Watchers Association?
They're live on Facebook. I mean, there's all kinds of bird watching stuff on Facebook you can see, and some of it's localized.
Okay.
So, and then there's a huge competition. It's vicious. Who can see what bird first in our area?
Oh, really?
Oh, yeah.
Huh. I'm going to Photoshop a bird, or I'm going to use
pterodactyl or
make
something
an AI chat. Go to get an AI drawing of
you will
a
get
bird.
So much shade.
I bet.
Do that.
I'm sure.
Yeah, but you should do it. It'd be fun.
Lots to get to this morning. Speaking of competition, there seems to be competition now of who's going to be out of the big three, the ones to come to a deal first with the UAW, and it seems like Ford might be the one to make that thing happen.
Yeah. So Ford they've struck a tentative deal with the UAW, and the UAW says this is what we did it for. For months, the UAW has said that This is from them. Record profits mean record contracts. And so that's what they're touting this as, is a record contract. And it says the UAW, their stand-up and strike has delivered. Negotiators say on day 40 of the stand-up strike, they reached historic agreement with Ford. The next steps for this, we'll talk about in a moment, but the key takeaways, 25% general wage increase over the course of the agreement. With the cost of living adjustment, they expect the top rate to increase by over 30% to above $40 an hour.
Dang.
The starting rate will rise 68%.
Some good money.
Yeah. Some of the lower tier members at the Sterling, Axle, and Rawsonville plant will see an immediate 85% raise upon ratification.
85%?
That's at Sterling, Axle, and Rawsonville.
Okay.
UAW members at Ford will receive more in straight general wage increases over the next 4.5 years than they have over the last 22 years combined. At ratification, Ford workers will receive an immediate 11% wage increase, which is almost equal to all the wage increases since 2007 combined. They also won back their 2009 COLA. They were torqued about that. They won back a 3-year progression before the Great Recession. Let's see, they killed what they call the divisive wage tier in some areas. Some plants had that. And they added to their pension multiplier.
Okay.
So that's long-term money there. Anyway, so the next steps on that is that they will make sure everything looks good before they present it to the membership. The UAW National Ford Council is going to be in Detroit, and on Sunday, October 29th, they will vote on whether to send the agreement to the membership. If the council approves to send that to the membership, then they'll host a special Facebook Live with all their members to go through the details of the deal.
Okay.
The goal is to have all the details available digitally to the Ford or UAW members by Sunday night. And then following that, the council vote and the Facebook Live, they'll hold regional meetings to walk through the agreement, blah, blah, blah. It's going to be maybe a week or two, and they'll have a ratification.
So this strike started back September 15th. So over a month that they've been
40
doing
days.
this, 40 days.
Yep.
Big question too is, when are they getting back to work? Are they going to get back to work before the deal is officially done?
I would assume that they will.
Okay.
Yeah, I would assume that they will take a temperature check here if they haven't already, and say, we need to get us all going back again.
Okay.
And
yeah.
Ford saw, they were doing the new stand-up strikes at some of the big cash plants, the money makers for Ford, Stellantis, GM. But it happened at Stellantis. I think it happened at GM. They were about to come to Ford and say, we're gonna go after your new cash maker here.
Yeah.
Ford said, hang on, here's our deal.
Yeah, I'm looking at this. The vice president of the UAW, Chuck Browning, said about going back to work. He said, we're going to go back to work at Ford to keep the pressure on Stellantis and GM. The last thing they want is Ford to get back to full capacity while they mess around and lag behind. So yeah, it's definitely putting the pressure on the other two to get something done. But it seemed like a lot of those, GM and Stellantis, they were still pretty far apart with what UAW was wanting. But will they strike a similar deal as UAW's got with Ford? I guess we'll just have to wait and
You would
see.
think so.
This is interesting.
Yeah, so Ford's probably pretty happy to see their 20,000 people coming back to work.
Other things going on in the news. Most states will be turning the clock back an hour for daylight saving time, November 5th. I thought we were geting rid of that at one point. The Senate approved the Sunshine Protection Act back in 2022, which would make daylight saving time permanent. But it did not pass the House and was not signed into law by the president back in 2023. And another version of the bill is sitting in Congress right now. And, well, as we talked about last hour, the new Speaker of the House has a pile of things to get to. So my guess is we're gonna deal with the daylight saving time for definitely for the near future and probably for a while.
How do you feel about taking away daylight saving time?
I will say, I mean, it's something that it's an old idea of for farmers and things like that. But
Yeah.
I will say that when we do spring forward or fall back, it is nice to have the sunlight. It doesn't get dark really early
now.
Yeah, right now.
Yeah.
So when we do fall back, it does feel like it's sunset is at a decent hour.
I want to try it out. I want to try out just staying on one time all year round.
You should have moved to Indiana at one point, because I remember it was weird. It was like not all of Indiana, because some of Indiana obviously is on Central Time.
Yeah.
But it was like certain counties in Indiana when I was growing up, St. Joe County, that was one that was like, yep, we're not going to move. Kind of like Hawaii. Hawaii across the board, the whole entire state says, we're not doing any
Hawaii never moves either?
They never move.
Good for them.
Yeah. They always, because my brother lived out there. So I always, anytime daylight saving, I was like, had to say, okay, so you're how many hours away from me now? Oh, yeah, you guys didn't switch. But in St. Joe County, I know for sure years ago, they decided they never were going to change. So like going to the mall or going shopping anywhere, it was, wait a minute, when do they close? Oh, man, I can't remember daylight saving time. So, yeah, I mean, you could, if you wanted to, just always never change. Don't change your clocks. Don't fall back.
I could put on my email signature, I am on Indiana time.
Right.
My clock will never change.
So, yeah, when you're early to a 9 a.m. meeting or you're late to a 9 a.m. meeting.
Oh, yeah, I was on a different time.
People will understand. Oh, no. Like there's certain parts in Southwest Michigan that what's so funny here is that it isn't Central Time and Eastern Time. It's Michigan time and Chicago time.
Yeah, pretty much.
That's what most people around here will say. What time is that meeting? Oh, is it Chicago time or Michigan time?
Yeah. Nobody says Central. I hear Eastern. I never hear Central.
No.
It's like Chicago time.
Mm-mm.
Yeah. What other metropolis is in the Central Time Zone?
Yeah.
Like Minneapolis, maybe?
Yeah, you got Minneapolis and like Milwaukee and stuff like that. But most areas where
Chicago.
we're watching television when they're like, oh yeah, tonight, 7 Central.
I love the Mountain Time.
Yeah.
Who lives on Mountain Time? The goats. The goats are watching.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
There's nobody over there.
Yeah.
There's like
two
cool.
people.
Hey, did you set your clocks back?
Yeah. There's the mayor and then there's the voter.
Exactly.
Yeah.
What's the point?
Yeah.
The goat's the mayor, actually. All right, we've got some other things to get to here in just a little bit. We'll have your Moody on the Market update next. It's the morning show on 94.9 WSJM.
Paid for by Christian Care Ministry.
This is good news, maybe exactly when you need it too. Right now, switching to MediShare can save you even more than usual on top of what you'll save each month by becoming a member of MediShare. So many people are looking for a healthcare solution right now, especially given how inflation is affecting us. And MediShare is the affordable, reliable alternative to health insurance. The typical family saves about $500 a month. You might save even more. And MediShare is a Christian community that's been sharing each other's healthcare costs for 30 years now, and they're making it easier than ever. Apply by October 31st, and you can save an additional $150 on your first month. I'll give you the number here in a second, but just tell them the promo code SHARE to get your additional savings. Maybe now is the time to make the switch, like more than 400,000 people already have, and start saving. Here it is. It's 855-51-BIBLE. That's 855-51-BIBLE. 855-51-BIBLE.
Hi, I'm Jeff Preeb with Preeb's Creative Woodworking. For over 25 years, we've had the privilege of being a part of our clients' homes and lives, crafting kitchens, baths, and thousands of projects built for generations to enjoy. As a result, we've gotten to know many families in the area and have formed close relationships over the years. As a small business and a small community, this October, all of us at Preeb's Creative Woodworking want to shine a light on breast cancer awareness. As a Real Men Wear Pink sponsor, we would like to encourage men and women to wear pink on Fridays in October to remind men and women to schedule their self-checks and mammograms because early detection saves lives. In addition, for the entire month of October, Preebs will donate $100 to Berrien County Cancer Services for any full kitchen or countertop order.
Preeb's Creative Woodworking, a proud sponsor of Real Men Wear Pink this October.
The Morning Show with Jonny and Ken on News Talk Sports 94.9 WSJM.
When you want to know Southwest Michigan's business, look no further than moodyonthemarket.com. Our team of contributors always on it with stories about all kinds of great things happening in Southwest Michigan. We also have your Moody on the Move series and our awards program, which recently, actually earlier this week, we announced the latest class of the Bold Women of Business. It's all right there at moodyonthemarket.com. Your update brought to you by our friends at Insurance Management Service. Call IMS today, your local auto owners agency with locations in St. Joseph and in Niles.
And as the pandemic wound down and people resumed normal activity like travel on airplanes, an innovative new business has been gearing up and quietly growing in Southwest Michigan. Headquartered in South Haven, Move Ports Transportation Services has been growing and leading the local private car and shuttle business industry in Southwest Michigan. Move Ports specializes in transporting people to major airports in the region, as well as providing shuttle service for wine tastings, weddings, sports, and other fun activities. One of Moveport's largest business segments involves transportation to Chicago O'Hare, Chicago Midway, Detroit Metro, Grand Rapids, Kalamazoo, and South Bend airports. I mean, you see it on Facebook and all the time.
Yeah.
These community groups saying, "Hey, I need to get to the airport. Anyone want to give me a ride? I'm stuck." No, this is a service to take care of that.
Yeah, Moveports has essentially created a new business category in Southwest Michigan with the creation of what they're calling private car service. It's important to note that private car service is different than Uber, Lyft, or a taxi. Unlike calling a taxi or rideshare service, Moveports operates by prior appointment or reservation only. The other big difference between Moveports and several busy and unsuccessful one-car operators in the region is precisely that. Moveports has more than one car. In fact, Moveports presently has 5 vehicles.
Nice.
With plans to purchase additional vehicles in the foreseeable future.
Yeah, so there's a lot there to understand and learn about. But also, if you have friends, family coming into the area, or maybe you need to get to the airport yourself, check it out. The full article is on moodyonthemarket.com.
It'd be a fun side job. We could be chauffeurs.
Could we have the show from the van?
Sure.
Okay.
I don't see why not.
We could do that.
We've got we can just use the sports gear. They got the headsets. We could do the headset thing.
Yeah.
Do a headset show.
I like that. And then we could also give traffic reports.
Right. Hey, they've got a new business venture.
Yeah.
And they've carved out a niche right there in our area. Why not us?
Yeah, there you go.
Radio shows on the road.
Read that article and find out all about it at moodyonthemarket.com.
Your update brought to you by our friends at Insurance Management Service. Call IMS today, your local auto owners agency with locations in St. Joseph and in Niles. We'll catch you up with news, sports, and also plan our weekend with our friends from St. Joe today just after 8 o'clock. It's the morning show on 94.9 WSJM.
We're watching over you, IMS.
All righty. Another fine award-winning show today.
Nomination just came in.
Yep.
For another award.
For the Bird Watchers and Rideshare Association.
The societies. Let's call them the societies.
Yeah.
Yeah. Bird Share and Rideshare Society of America. It's both of them in one.
Yeah. It's a very, very specialized group. Only a few people in that group. Bill says, have a great day, guys.
Thank you, Bill.
And that's what we'll say to everyone as well. Have a great day. I almost said have a great weekend.
No,
I'm already looking to the weekend.
Yeah.
Because I've already got big plans for that. So.
Ooh, can't wait to hear about that.
Yeah, I got a friend that has a big birthday party. So I'm going to be celebrating that.
That'll be fun.
Then a bunch of other stuff. All right. You have a good one, and we'll talk to you again tomorrow, and it will be the Friday edition of the show.
Okay.
All right. Bye now.